HDC's. Oh,
No, we're good.
all right, now we're good. So good morning. For the record, I'm Chris Young, Chair of the HDC's SAC. Let's confirm access. Members, please respond with an aye. Ben Norman.
Aye.
Kevin Kuster.
Aye.
Paul Wolf.
Aye.
And staff, we have Billy Saad.
Aye.
This open meeting of the HDC's SAC is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12th, 2020. That order, posted with the agenda materials for the meeting, allows public bodies to convene remotely so long as public access to deliberations is reasonably provided. This meeting is convening via Zoom with video and audio recording, which are available on the town's YouTube channel. We will feature public comment. Materials provided to members for the meeting or provided during the meeting are, unless otherwise noted, available on the town's website. During the meeting, I'll introduce agenda topics and speakers. Please remember to mute your Zoom audio until your name is called. Let's direct comments and questions through the chair to avoid crosstalk and the taking of minutes easier. Votes will be conducted by roll call. And with that said, we'll move on to the meeting. We'll call it to order at 10:16 on January 10th, 2023. Do we have a motion to approve our agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Ben, are you in favor?
Aye. Oh,
All right, Ben.
Aye.
And Kevin
Aye.
and Paul.
aye.
Okay, thank you. And I don't believe we have minutes. Is that correct, Billy?
No, we don't yet. I will get those to you as soon as I can this week.
Okay, so the next topic then is public comment, or first we'll start with commissioners' comments. Do any commissioners have comments they'd like to make?
Nope.
Seeing none, we'll go to public comments. Is anybody here to comment on something not related to an application on the agenda? Seeing none, we'll move on to the first new business item, which is 54 Old South Road. We have Tori, I think, on the line to represent.
Good morning.
The sign. Good morning. So we saw this sign before. Is this what have you revised for us?
So we took your suggestions and we've submitted a full elevation showing the sign on the building to scale. And I can talk you through the couple notes that we went over that you had suggested. We've added a couple inches to the left and the right to lengthen the space around the topography. The color, I've also determined and given you an example of the Benjamin Moore specific color that she's requesting. I think the only thing that we did not do that you suggested was do a black border. She would prefer to keep it the teal all the way around. And if I've missed anything, please let me know. But other than that, we look forward to your feedback.
Okay, let me start with Kevin.
Yeah, thank you. I think it looks pretty good. The only suggestion I would have is that I think it needs some kind of a frame, if not a border, at least a frame that I guess could still be painted the teal, but
Okay.
Just some sort of an edge treatment I think would be helpful. Other than that, I don't have anything to add. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Ben.
I agree with what Kevin said.
Great, and Paul?
I think it's fine.
Okay. I have the same thought. We just need to have some kind of a frame or border. So what would you like to propose if we were going to make a motion here, Tori? Do you have any ideas of?
I mean, what's traditional, like a 1 inch or a 2 inch wooden border painted the same background color?
Yeah, something to give a shadow line, essentially,
Yeah.
just so that there's some relief to it if you're not going to do a
Yeah,
black painted border.
That would be my instinct if that works for you.
Okay. Would somebody like to make a motion?
Move we,
Sure, make it. Oh, go ahead, Paul.
move we approve it with the molding around the sign.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Ben, are you in favor?
Aye.
And Paul
Aye.
and Kevin?
Aye.
Okay, great. So this is going to be recommended for approval at tonight's meeting with the HDC board.
Okay, great.
Thanks,
Thanks so
Dory.
much, guys. You got it.
All right. The second item on the agenda, we have a sign here in Nantucket representing 12 Main Street. Three items actually on the agenda, the master sign plan followed by the two signs that they're applying for. So who is on the line for, hi, how are you?
Good, how
Thank
are
you
you?
for, good, thanks for submitting this master sign plan. I know there's a little back and forth on what would be needed, but this looks good. So go ahead and just tell us a little bit about what you did here with the master sign plan.
Sure. I guess it's a little confusing because only two of the signs on the sign plan are theoretically approved, and those are for Blue Beetle. But for starters, the first sign is it's a wall sign. It's 80 by 12 inches, and that is for Blue Beetle. Then the other sign is B. I think it's 24 by 24 or 16 by 24. I'm not sure what's noted on the application, but that's sign B. And then on the second half of the building, where Calista will be, is a similar model. It's an 80 by 12 on the side window, just like Blue Beetle. And then on the front, it's a projecting sign at 24 by 24. So that's just noted in the document.
Okay, great. So seeing as how the new signs are part of this, why don't we look at those applications just so that it's so that we all see like how the wall sign looks on the building, because I know that's in the wall sign application.
Yeah, so I'm not sure which one is first here. It looks like you have the wall sign one. So this is going to be an 80 by 12. It mirrors the Blue Beetle, which is right in front of it. On slide 9 is an example of what it would look like on the building next to Blue Beetle. And there is an existing bracket, but we will be removing that. And this layout actually similar to Diane Ferguson, which was here prior to Jay Butler. They have a similar layout to what Calista is proposing.
Okay, great. So why don't we do commissioner comments on this wall sign? I think in the end, we'll have the master sign plan be like sort of the last thing. We'll look at each of these signs first.
Sure.
Ben, do you have any thoughts on the wall sign?
No concerns with wall sign. Could we get rid of all those electrical meters there though? That looks horrible. I'm joking. It looks fine.
Okay, thanks, Ben. Or excuse me, Paul.
The Calista West sign, is that in place of the projecting sign?
Yeah, the protecting sign is being removed for Jay Butler. They're no longer there, and the bracket will be removed.
Okay, fine, thank you. The location sign, just a comment, the master sign plan doesn't necessarily approve the signs. It approves the location of the signs and the size of the sign. So that if the next tenant that comes along, at least they know what they can do. But yes, this looks fine.
Great. Yeah, what we're reviewing is the actual sign application. We have the sign applications and the master sign application today. So
I got it.
yeah, good. Okay. Thanks, Paul. How about you, Kevin?
Question about what's going on over the door, if anything. Is that going to be?
I can't speak for the door. I don't know what was there prior. Like two lights. I don't know.
It looks like there's a sign bracket there.
There's no, it's not on the master sign plan. So this is a good point why we have a master sign plan. So at the moment, there would be nothing approved. And if somebody wanted to,
I think the bracket would go, I think the bracket should go away if there's no sign there. That seems a little odd.
So the door is not for Calista's space. I'm not sure if that relates to what we're talking about, but if that needs to come down, I'm sure that could come down. I don't know who that would. I'm sure we would talk to Island Realty Trust about that. I don't
Who
know.
owns the building?
Island Realty Trust.
it would be, that would be helpful if they're gonna be removing the bracket for the projecting sign that is J.R. Butler right now, they at the same time could remove the other bracket. That would be a helpful improvement to the building, but
So
Where
I
does the,
just-
let's,
where does the door go? I mean,
Yeah, so it's the access for all the tenants into the building. It's not for a retail space.
Yeah, I mean, I recall that there used to be like a tutoring service up there that had a sign there for a long time. That I guess is gone now. This picture is up to date. But I remember when that was there. You know, I would have no problem seeing a sign end up there again. I think it's appropriate for that doorway, but it's not part of the master sign plan. When those people come back, maybe they just have to amend the master sign plan.
I think that seems fair.
so, Kevin, did you have any concerns on the wall sign itself?
no, and I
Okay.
agree with Ben. I don't have any issue with the sign going there. I just wasn't sure where it went to or what it was for. So,
I think it's safe to say if they rent the space out and somebody wants a sign, that'll become the obvious spot, but
Yeah.
right now, let's approve
Yeah.
or let's review the applications before us, and we'll leave that sort of hanging. Let's move around to the projecting sign, just so that we see that before we look at the master sign plan.
So the projecting sign is using an existing bracket. It's going to be 24, and it's the same colors, navy and gold leaf. So it's going to just use the existing bracket there right over the door.
Okay. Paul, do you have any thoughts on this?
No, I have no problem with it.
Okay. And Kevin?
I have no concerns about it. I think it's a nice sign.
Okay. Ben?
No problem with the sign, but that AC unit above that door looks, or the,
It's horrible. Horrible.
man. But no, the sign looks great. Man, those AC units are horrible.
Okay, so we have the signs. There's 3 applications, one projecting sign, one wall sign, the master sign plan that would identify the locations of both. Let's vote or review first the master sign plan so that we can make motions on the signs themselves. Does anybody want to make a motion on that?
I'll make a motion to approve the master sign plan.
Second,
Thank you. Kevin, are you in favor? And Ben,
Aye.
Paul?
aye,
Okay, thank you. Then we'll move on to the wall sign.
Motion to approve.
second,
Thank you. Kevin, are you in favor?
Aye.
And Ben
Aye.
and Paul?
aye,
Great. And the projecting sign.
Motion to approve.
second,
Thank you, Kevin,
Aye.
Ben,
Aye.
and Paul.
aye.
Great. So
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you. So those 3 will go up to the meeting with recommendations for approval. And the last application for new business is Town of Nantucket freestanding sign for the garden club. Is Marianne on the line? I believe so. Marianne, are you here?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, great. So would you introduce us to this
Sure.
application? What are you looking for?
Well, the Nantucket Council on Aging, in collaboration with the Garden Club, has been working on planting a water resilient garden at the Salt Marsh Center. So the town owns the building, the NCOA manages the building and manages the activities in the salt marsh, including the grounds. So the purpose of the water resilient garden. As you know, that area is prone to flooding. So we've started planting last spring with plant material that actually has very deep roots and absorbs the water. And it also can handle a lot of the bad winds, the sand that comes pelting up against that. And the purpose of it is to use this as an educational garden so that people can see what can be done to help with flooding, and hopefully other areas of the island, people will, try to change their gardens over to things like this. So what we wanted to do is to put up an educational sign that explained what some of the plant material was and what the purpose of it was. So there's an example of the sign. Also in your packet are examples of the sign, the similar signs that the Conservation Foundation uses, and this one is on the Easy Street Pocket Park. Similar materials, this one, and that's the ones that's on the Conservation Foundation's property up on Cliff Road. And they use this type of signage throughout their properties. It's 18, and I did a little diagram in terms of the sign and where it would be positioned on the property, about 4 feet off the fence by the parking lot and about 6 to 8 inches off the split rail fence in the front. So it's right in that corner there.
Okay.
Yeah, you got it.
All right. Kevin, you want to start the conversation?
I'd like if I could get a little more clarity on how this is mounted.
Yes.
Is it at an
There's
angle?
It's on an angle. Yes, that is correct. So
And
that's,
is it, how high off the ground are we?
oh, that's
is
a
it-
good question. I didn't measure that. Probably about 3 feet.
Well, I guess another way to look at it, will it be,
It'll
Level
just
with-
cover, it'll clear the split rail fence. Sorry?
oh, yeah, that was my question, if it would be level with the fence or above it, or,
It would be just above the fence so you could see it as you're looking into the garden.
uh, hmm. I don't know. I'm curious what others have to say. I can see the importance of the information. I do recall the one from the Pocket Park for the land bank. I don't ever recall approving anything from the Conservation Foundation. I think we should probably have a chat with them sometime.
Well, that is on private, it's on their property. It's not on the,
Oh, okay. And what's the overall size again?
18 by 24.
I think it's pretty diminutive. I think I'm willing to go with this. I'm curious what others have to say. That's all.
Okay, thanks. Ben?
Yeah, so would this fall under the category, and Chris, this is kind of a question to you, would this fall under the category of a public information sign? Is that?
That's a good question. I think it would, although the public information signs call for actually a more robust structure as far as 2 posts and things like that, where I think I
Well,
like
I'm
the
just
fact
thinking of
that
like a
this is,
freestanding, if we're gonna allow a freestanding sign,
yes, right. And it would fall under it in that category.
yeah. I think I think it's a valuable piece of information. It's gonna be right behind a fence. Ideally, we don't like freestanding signs, but I think applying this to the split rail fence is sort of inappropriate. So I think the application, the way it's gonna be mounted on a kind of angled bow thing is probably the right way to do it. But I think just making sure from our, point of view that we're approving this as a freestanding sign because it's public information and set low and other precedent. And I just want to make sure we set the precedent properly.
Great. And Paul?
Yeah, I'm concerned about freestanding sign, and I'm curious why it could not go on the fence. Mary Ann, have any comments on putting the sign on the fence? No.
I think it might be hard to read down there. It would be. I mean, I think if we don't go if we keep it level with the fence and not any higher, I don't think it's going to stand out from driving by.
Well, you can't read it when you're driving by,
Yes, yeah.
I hope.
I will point out also that as some of this vegetation does grow, because this is last year was the first year, it's going to be nestled within the vegetation. So it's not going to be out there standing up really just by itself.
Yeah, I think listening to the comments, I'm leaning towards having it behind the fence, Paul, because I think that it is less obvious from the street, so that you'd have to be standing there to really notice it and read it, which is sort of the goal. And like Kevin said, I'd rather see it maybe have the top of it no higher than, say, 3 or 4 inches higher than the top rail of the fence. That way, when you're standing there, you can sort of look down to read it and not have it be this single post that's sticking up obviously behind the fence. I think the key is, if we're going to approve something like this, to have it be as unobtrusive to the streetscape as possible. But that's sort of my thought. How do you think about that, Paul?
I agree with you. That's fine.
Yeah. And Marianne, do you think keeping the height of it? Oh, go ahead, Kevin.
Well, I agree as well. I'd like to see it mounted no higher than the top of the fence, because I think it is geared towards pedestrian traffic and people walking by. So there's no real reason to have it above that fence line. So I would make a motion to approve with that, caveat that it be no higher than the fence.
That was our general intent. I just didn't measure it. I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem.
I'll second that.
Okay, so just to be clear, we're saying the top of the sign is no taller than the top of the fence rail.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so Ben, do you
Aye.
approve that? You okay? And Kevin
All right.
and Paul?
Aye.
Great. So Marianne, this will go up with a recommendation for approval at tonight's meeting as well.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Thanks. All right, Billy, you have the floor to talk about enforcement if you like.
All right. I don't really have a whole lot to add for enforcement at this point. Last meeting, I was out, I had COVID I just tested positive for COVID at the last meeting. So kind of wiped me out for a week. I was out of the office and I've been playing a little bit of catch up since then. That's unfortunately why you don't have your minutes for today. So I will say, I heard during this meeting, we were just talking about the Conservation Commission. Do you want me to look into that sign? Or, I mean, it seems like it could be on their property, buried back a little bit.
Oh, I don't know. I guess I think it's something we should keep an eye on, but I think we have more pressing things at the moment. That's my opinion.
Yeah, what do you got? Because I haven't received any emails from anyone, and I'm just wondering. I've heard, we've talked about Center Street, and every time I've been up on Center Street, I have not been able to catch anyone with sandwich boards or anything like that. What is it that you're looking for up on Center Street, Kevin?
Oh gosh, there's basically 3, maybe 4 places that have been pretty consistent. You got Friedman's has been a violator for going on 10 years.
With additional signs in the windows?
No, he puts a whiteboard out
Oh, okay.
every holiday, every end of the season, every sale opportunity, he gets a whiteboard. There's, I can't recall the name right now. There's a place just down the street from that puts out a bicycle with a sign on the ground, and they've got a dangling sign from their approved sign. Anyway, I'll take some pictures. I'm not sure how many are still around this time of year.
Right.
But it's probably worth documenting. If you could maybe put out, do you have a spreadsheet of what you're working on, or?
Yeah,
Is-
yeah, I can send you guys the updated spreadsheet when I send you the minutes this week.
Yeah,
Right.
that'd be great. That'd be great.
Okay.
The other thing I was going to add, to this is, I think we're heading into the season where people's licenses get approved or renewed. I know it's something that Amy Baxter heads up. She's been involved with us in the past about trying to corral some things in. I might suggest, I don't know how the others feel, but maybe getting word to Amy to on her license applications to double check that the people she's granting licenses for have their approvals from us, because I think there are a number that don't, and it may be a way to get some of this stuff, enforced. As an example, you've got Epernay, which has been a consistent violator. I'm sure they have to get a license for their liquor store. So it seems like a good opportunity to, strengthen our, enforcement down there in an appropriate way.
Okay.
That kind of thing. You've got the same thing, with some of the restaurants and who are putting stuff up, and they're going to need licenses. So it might be worthwhile mentioning to her as she's doing her checklist. If not, I guess we could, I could attend, or you could attend the meetings where they're doing this and discuss it, but I think we can head it off early. Anyway, that's my comment on enforcement for today.
Thanks, Kevin. Ben, do you have anything?
No, nothing new.
Okay, and Paul?
No, but I'll be happy to review that list, and if we've got something out there that still needs attention, I'll let you know.
All right.
Great, thanks. Well, thanks, Billy. Welcome back. Glad you're over that.
Thanks.
And
I think
look
everybody's
forward
been
to seeing that. Yeah,
That
it's been tough.
That was the first time I had it, and it wiped me out pretty good. So
Ugh.
I do not want it again.
I don't blame you. All right, motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
Thank you. Paul, are you in favor?
Aye.
Ben
All right.
and Kevin.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
All right,
you.
good to see everybody.
See you next time.
Thanks, guys.
Take care.